Couldn't be better. Fire away.
It is most awfully difficult to explain.
Come now, take the plunge out with it. You've heard strange noises in the night, no doubt. Boards creaking, doors slamming, subdued moaning in the passages, is that it?
No, I'm afraid it isn't.
No sudden gusts of cold wind, I hope?
Oh, no, it's worse than that.
I'm all attention.
The other night, during the seance, something happened.
Ah, I knew it. Probably a poltergeist. They're enormously cunning, you know. They sometimes lie doggo for days.
You know that my husband was married before?
Yes, I have heard it mentioned.
His first wife, Elvira, died comparatively young.
Where?
Here, in this house. In this very room.
I'm beginning to see daylight.
She was convalescing after pneumonia, and one evening she started to laugh helplessly at one of the BBC musical programs, and died of a heart attack.
And she materialized the other evening after I had gone?
Oh, not to me, but to my husband.
Capital! Oh, that's splendid!
From your own personal point of view, I can see how it might be regarded as a major achievement.
A triumph, my dear! Nothing more no less than a triumph!
But from my own personal point of view, this is embarrassing.
Forgive me, Mrs. Condamine, I am being abominably selfish. How can I help?
How? By sending her back immediately to where she came from, of course.
I'm afraid that is easier said than done.
Oh, do you mean to say that she's liable to stay here indefinitely?
It's difficult to say. I fear it depends largely on her.
Well, you have to do something.
I will report the whole matter to the Society for Psychical Research at the earliest possible moment.
Will they be able to do anything?
I doubt it. They'd send an investigation committee, I expect, and do a lot of questioning and wall-tapping and mumbo-jumbo, and then they'd have a conference, and you would probably have to go up to London to testify.
Oh, it's too humiliating, it is really.
Please try not to upset yourself. Nothing can be achieved by upsetting yourself.
It is all very fine for you to talk like this, Madame Arcadi. You don't seem to have the faintest realization of my position.
Try to look on the bright side.
The bright side, indeed. If your husband's first wife suddenly appeared from the grave and came to live in the house with you, do you suppose you'd be able to look on the bright side?
I resent your tone, Mrs. Condamine. I really do.
You most decidedly have no right to. You are entirely to blame for this whole horrible situation.
Kindly remember that I came here the other night on your own invitation.
On my husband's invitation?
I did what I was requested to do, which was to give a seance and establish contact with the other side. I had no idea there was any ulterior motive mixed up with it.
Ulterior motive?
Your husband was obviously eager to get in touch with his former wife. If I had known that at the time, I should naturally have consulted you beforehand. After all, noblesse oblige.
He had no intentions of trying to get in touch with anyone. The whole thing was planned in order for him to get material for a mystery story he was writing about a homicidal medium.
Am I to understand? I was only invited in a spirit of mockery?
Oh, no. He merely wanted to make notes of some of the tricks of the trade.
Tricks of the trade? Insufferable! I've never been so insulted in my life. If we have nothing more to say to one another, Mrs. Condamine, goodbye.
Oh, please don't go, please.
Your attitude from the onset has been most unpleasant, Mrs. Condamine. Some of your remarks have been discourteous in the extreme, and, I should like to say, without umbrage, that if you and your husband were foolish enough to tamper with the unseen for paltry motives and in a spirit of ribaldry, whatever has happened to you is your own fault, and, to coin a phrase, as far as I'm concerned, you can stew in your own juice.